Anne is just a Renaissance woman. So many.
It's exhausting.
I know it must be. Alan, one of the questions that I have for you, as I said, I've known you and Pat for so many years, and you have as diverse a career as any of the artists up here, and as far as all the different kinds of shows you're doing. And I believe the only way we can be successful these days is to diversify, to come up with different kinds of shows and projects. That's the only way we're really going to work, I believe.
Can I just add something? I have a very interesting and creative manager, and basically the word out is that high concept sells.
The what?
People want to
High
know,
concept, yeah.
what is your concept? It's not just a night with Hampton Callaway or Allan Harris, or they want to know, what's this about? It could be the most bizarre little thing it's about, but if they really are clear about what it's about, then they can sell what it's about and you and other people you're doing. So that the high concept thing is definitely a help commercially.
Can I say one thing about
Yes,
that?
you can.
There's a reason why high concept works. Does anybody care to venture why it
I'm
works?
sorry to interrupt your question.
Don't try to talk, Alan. You're just a guy.
I'm sorry.
I have a vicious dog. Watch it.
No, of course I'd like to know. Absolutely, please.
No, I just want to say that it's because in order for things to work, you need to get things written.
Yeah.
And journalists live in the world of concepts, and they need something to grab onto.
Right.
So, and actually everything has a concept. You just have to present it with the concept. So go ahead, speaking of Alan.
No, but that's very valuable because, everyone's looking for, what's the best thing to do now and why did somebody's project work? Why didn't mine work? What do I do now? But Alan, you and Pat really have created such a great career. And I would love to have Pat on a panel to hear everything she has to say about what she has parlayed. Your life wouldn't be the same, certainly, without what Pat
Definitely.
does.
Having fun, drunk, and chasing.
Yes, and she's a beautiful person too, and we all love her. I'm impressed that you are capable of working in all these different musical idioms, and I would assume this enables you to work in a variety of venues and build a wider audience, which you've been working on. But I want to know is, so many years ago when we were all stewing around together, was this a conscious, strategic plan by you and Pat together? Did you sit down and say, all right, I'm going to make a 5-year plan now. I can see I need to have a focus. Let's make a plan. I'm going to release this record, and then I know in 6 months I'm going to have this other record ready to go, and then we're going to approach orchestras. I'm going to get my orchestra book. I'm going to get my big band book. I'm going to get my blues show. Was this a plan, strategic? Did you two sit down?
She did. She really has a wonderful foot. For those of you who know my wife, you understand she's a daunting person. You see her in the daylight. I live with her 24 hours a day, and trust me, you think 12 years a slave is bad. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Come on, just kidding. Just kidding. No.
What did you say? Say that again.
Hell no.
I'll get it for you.
You better watch out.
Look, there's three.
So you like your woman strong?
I do. My mother was strong. There's three things that influenced my life. 3 things. The first one was we buried my grandmother in North Carolina, Hampton, North Carolina. I was a little child. I remember seeing my father. My father was one of the leading wide receivers for the Black Football League. He was going to join the Titans, which was going to become the Jets. He was an amazing athlete. And then we see my father, he was a knockout. I remember going with him and my mother and the family in a railroad car to bury my grandmother. And he got out the car and he wouldn't let me come out. And he went to the bathroom, there was a colored sign. He didn't want me to see that. I saw it. And that broke my heart. It broke his heart too. We never talked about it to this day. That was the first one. The second one was a little child in Brooklyn, a young man in Brooklyn. I was about 12 years old, and walking home past Mr. Cook's barbershop when I had hair. They used to cut hair, and they used to play checkers and that in the background, typical, which is prelude to my new CD, Black Boy Jukebox. And I remember walking past as a young kid, and I grew up with Sidney Poitier and Stephen Fetchit, and most young kids of color grew up with that boys. And I remember seeing the poster in the window, and it was just daunting. It changed my life. It was a tall figure of a black man in a white leather fringe suit playing a white Stratocaster. It was Jimi Hendrix. He knocked my socks off. And Mr. Cook was in there screaming at all the other black guys.
Do you play your guitar with your, strings?
No, I don't go that far. and it rocked my mind, that's one thing. And the third one was, I used to spend the summers at my grandfather's farm. We were a horse farm. And I remember there was a little bay filly. She was wild. She was a 3-year-old filly, and really not many people wanted to ride her because once she took the bit in her mouth, horses, she would take off, and you basically had to bail off of her. And Pat kept the horse at the farm. She boarded a horse, she and her sister, and she was crazy at the time. She was young. I remember stepping out, my grandfather ran up to me and said, "Man, it's this crazy little white girl riding that horse."
At that time, had you started your singing career there? Did she start the strategic plans for your career?
That moved me. That really saw the fortitude that she had. And she took those lessons of that horse and she applies it to what she does today.
That's where this was going.
Is there a moment where she really said, I love you, we got a great marriage,
There was.
but hey, let's make a strategic plan and I
So
want
she
you
knows
to
how
do
to
this.
ride you.
She does. There
We're going to have a sex panel next time.
she worked for Jimmy Page for a number of years. Jimmy Page is a guitar
She
player
worked
for Jimmy Page for a number of years.
So she had connections in the business.
No, she never brought to the table. What she brought to the table was how to conduct a career outside of the format of jazz. Because she realized that being a jazz artist at the time, the knowledge that was given to me was very limited. Because the people who were controlling my destiny, managers, agents, and that, really kept a closed door. Yes. I had to sing. Basically, it was a sharecropper mentality. And she brought that attitude to the table. She looked at me one day and said, "You know what? I think I can do better than what these guys were handling you." I said, "Really? You give me a break." She's traveled around the world. She's done 3 safaris. She's really a daunting human being. Even if I wasn't in love with her, I would like to get to know her. So she sat down and said, "Look, give me a year with you. And if something happens in a year, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Okay." And together, under her auspices, she brought a lot of that knowledge from working with Jimmy Page, working with a bunch of other people that she did. She had a company at the time. She brought it to the table, which was outside of mainstream jazz. Because being a person of color, there was just a lot of doors that they kept closed to us, to me, which was the residue of the 40s and 50s. Yes, you could play. Yes, you could sing. Yes, you could make pop records. Yes, you could sing like Eddie Jefferson and Nat King Cole. But as far as your business acumen, they kept you out of the picture if you were that. She brought to the table another dimension. She said, "You know what? Let's look at our cousins in country music and rock and R&B and see what they're doing and apply that to what you're doing in jazz." And she did that with verve. And as you see now today, the residue of that is what we're doing now.
Yes. Very good. Very good.